Hi guys, welcome. The HYROX 25-26 season will start in a couple of weeks' time at HYROX Birmingham. Thousands of people will descend on that event, taking part in the first event of the UK schedule. This will be the first domino to fall in a series of events throughout the winter months, taking us all the way up to Cardiff in May. Now, this video, I'm going to be telling you about the schedule. I'm going to be telling you unique things you might need to know about each of the venues, just basic top level stuff, telling you what to expect at each of these places. And then after that, we're going to take a little look at the 25-26 rule revisions that have come in this year. Just a couple of tweaks to what already exists. These come about as a result of listening to the customer base, listening to the feedback from people who take part in HYROX events, like you, like me, sometimes this is for good, and sometimes you might think, well, hang on a minute, that doesn't quite sit right. But we'll discuss those in the latter half of the video. So the first event in the HYROX UK schedule is HYROX Birmingham. This takes place on the 22nd to the 26th of October and is hosted in the NEC. They often move around which exhibition hall it's in, so it's important for you to figure out which one it is. But generally speaking, you go in through the main entrance and you can find your way from there. Now, the NEC has fantastic access as it's in the middle of the country. You can get to it from pretty much just about all of the main motorways and has a very fit for purpose car park. Now, just bear in mind, it's important that probably you book ahead for your car park to save yourself a few quid, and everything else is walking after that. Apart from that, just allow a little bit of extra time for those transitions and any inevitable queuing you might get at the registration desk. So the second event in the HYROX UK schedule is HYROX London XL. This takes place between the 4th and the 7th of December, taking just 4 days of competition. It's actually the smallest amount of a consecutive days worth. This event is another one of these big exhibition hall style venues, so it's very fit for purpose, very boxy. Inside it's a little bit soulless though. Interestingly about this event, it is going to be the country's first one lap event. Very exciting. That means they have booked enough halls out to create a 1 kilometre run all the way around the outside. It's going to be very interesting how they fill that inner space up. Very interesting. With regards to getting to this one, North Shore of London's River Thames, so lots of public access between buses, underground and road. It's very easy to park at this one, a massive subterranean car park beneath the complex which hosts thousands of cars. It's very easy to go and do. It's quite expensive if you do park there, but it's very convenient. You only have to go up a flight of stairs and you are there. So the third event in the HYROX UK schedule this year is HYROX Manchester. This takes place between the 21st and the 25th of January and is hosted at the Manchester Convention Centre, the old central Manchester train station. And as such, it's a beautiful, character-filled, arch-based, natural light style building, and it is a fantastic place to go and do a HYROX in, one of my favourites. With regards to getting there, this is sort of north of England, so it favours the people in north, even Scotland somewhat, and it has quite good public transport links all around the venue. You've got trams that run right past it, you've got buses that drive right past it, but if you do choose to drive, the event does have a limited subterranean car park beneath the complex, but should that be too expensive or not be able to get booked on, there is ample street or private parking all around that area. The first year I went and parked in the underground car park, cost 25 quid. The next year I parked to the car park just 5 minutes walk away and it was 8 quid for the day. So it's about finding the most cost-effective solution for you. So the fourth event in the HYROX UK schedule is HYROX Glasgow. This takes place between the 11th and the 14th of March. This is 5 full days of competition. This is hosted at the SEC, the Scottish Exhibition Centre, a lovely built for purpose event hall style arena, and it just looks really nice when you walk through it. Now with regards to getting there, this is obviously in Scotland, which is very north, really north. From me in the Midlands, this is a 5-hour drive, so if you're south of me, expect longer, and that's in good traffic. With regards to when you are there, I don't think there's a huge amount of parking at the SEC itself. There's some, but not loads. With regards to how I've done it in the past, I've often had to have a hotel, so I'd pay for the extra parking time and just leave my car there in the hotel car park, but there's lots of other hotel car parks where you can book or pay for a short stint. Often this can mean just a small walk or a cross of the Clyde River across one of the beautiful bridges there in the Science District. So the fifth event in the HYROX UK schedule is HYROX London Olympia. Now this event is proving to be a very exciting one. First of all, it is going to be the biggest event to date. No less than 9 days of competition, and it will absorb the EMEA regional championships as well. So there will be a week's worth of competitions and the 2 days for the championships, as I understand it. This is hosted at the London Olympia venue, another one of these old train stations that's been massively refurbished into an all singing, all dancing event arena. And it is an extremely beautiful building to take place in HYROX for. I've been to this a few times and it is arguably just a stunning place. Natural light, high arches, all of that good stuff. With regards to getting here, obviously this is inner city London, so public transport is probably the way to go. If you're going on train and then underground, there are tube stations right outside. That would be the most sensible way to do it. If, like me, you're a bit of a masochist and decide to drive, you will have to plan where you are going to park. It is not an easy place to park, but there are options. I went on Just Park or one of these online websites and booked a space in a hotel basement just down the road and walked the last bit in. Yes, a wonderful venue, and this one is going to be really exciting. So the sixth and final event of the 25-26 season is HYROX Cardiff. This takes place between the 29th of April and the 4th of May. It takes in 6 days of competition. This one is hosted at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff, the home of the National Wales rugby team. Things to consider about this one. I've only done this one once. There's only been one event thus far. I noticed that the spectating was particularly poor at this event. This was one of the events where you could just not get to the race side. There was a limited amount of space, a footprint of the amount of exercises that you could fit onto a rugby pitch, and there just wasn't any space left for spectators to go down and wander up and down like you do at other places. So just bear that in mind if you bring in spectators. With regards to getting here, there are lots of different ways. Trains and public transport would be a good option, much like inner city London. This is Cardiff. I tried to drive, but again, like London Olympia, I found I had to book a parking space ahead of time, so I didn't drive all of that way and have that panic as I arrived. So just plan ahead and you will be fine. Right before each HYROX season begins, HYROX publishes a list of revisions to the rulebook. This is just a handful of refinements to already existing rules. These are often done to eliminate ambiguity or confusion on previous rules, and sometimes they insert new rules where there needs to be some. They get this by listening to the feedback from the floor, from HYROX competitors, from the judges, and from some of the ambassadors, and between them they come up with these revisions. Now it's important for you, for me, to know and understand what these revisions are, because this means that the rules aren't exactly the same as what they were last year, and you could easily waltz into a station, do it like you did last year, and then get a penalty for it. So in this part of the video, we're going to firstly take a look at these new revisions, talk about them, good or bad, and then after that, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things, the other things that you might see for this year out on the floor. So there has been something of a shift in how HYROX distributes penalties during a race. Historically, they have always given a penalty in the form of a distance penalty or a time penalty. Now they are moving everything to a time penalty, and this can happen in a number of different ways. Some of the stations, they will issue a warning before they give the penalty. Some of the penalties are given straight away depending on the severity of what you've done. So just make sure you know all the rules so you do not incur one of these penalties. The penalties can come in a number of different forms. You can either have the number just slapped onto your finishing time, or they will hold you in position for a set amount of time before releasing you again. It's interesting how this will actually look on the floor. I'm interested to see if this will work efficiently with the the amount of judges at each station. If you try to take part in any other wave other than the one that you've been assigned, the one that is listed on the start list, you will be immediately and automatically disqualified from the race. Even if you go around and do the entire thing, you simply will not be allowed to have a ranking or a time at the end. Spitting and clearing your nose. Now this is a no-brainer for just about anyone who's civilized. Now I appreciate while running you can get a little bit bunged up and might need to clear your throat. An inside running event on a shiny floor is not the place for it. This is the sort of thing that happens to you. Take a tissue with you in your pocket. If you are observed doing this, you will be issued a 2-minute penalty for every observed instance. So just bear in mind, if you do snot on the floor, you're getting 2 minutes for it. So the burpees have had something of a revision to their rules. With regards to hand placement, previously this had been referred to as a foot. Your hands must be a foot in front of your feet. Now that exact wording sounds a bit odd, certainly when referring to your actual feet, so they've changed the measurements to 30 centimeters to just really clear that up. It is still a foot, but 30 centimeters differentiates it from your feet. So fantastic, that's been cleared up. I will be maximizing on my 30 centimeters going into my next HYROX. They have also said once and for all on paper in the rules that the knee up burpee is allowed. Lots of people have been doing it this way. I do it this way. It's just never been said in the rules if this is allowed, and some people have said, is that allowed? It is now allowed. In the farmer's carry and the sandbag lunges, there is an option of weights when you enter this particular exercise. Should you have a blurry eye moment, you could potentially pick up the wrong sandbags or kettlebells and do that station at the wrong weight. Now, if you do it at the wrong weight, heavier or lighter, you will be expected to redo that station with the correct weight. Now that is asking anyone to do those stations twice is a big ask, but if you don't, it's a disqualification, I'm afraid. In some of the smaller venues where space is at a premium, they have multi-laps on the farmer's carry. If it is observed that you are missing laps, it will be a 3-minute penalty for each of the laps that you have missed. Shoes. Up until recently, shoes have had to be worn from the very start of the race to the end of the race. HYROX has done something of a little bit of a U-turn on this and has said that you are allowed to take your shoes off during the warbles. But you must pick up your shoes and take them with you to the finish line. It's very important that you don't just leave them there, the stinky things for the next person at that station. Respiratory devices. So if you've got asthma, and lots of people do, and people ask all of the time, are they allowed to take their asthma inhaler with them around the course? Now officially for the first time, the answer is yes. Yes, you can. This has been written into the rules that you are allowed to take any kind of asthma inhaler, something that is related to your respiratory system that you might just need to have a little puff on your way around. And finally, HYROX has reiterated that if even your toes, even the very tips of your toes, touch the front line during the sled pull, that this is in fact a penalty. So what other things are we likely to see this season? These are in no particular order, and these aren't particularly rule-based, but still worth noting anyway. So the overtake lane, the inside lane, the fast lane, they've always had this, but it's never been enforced. It's never been worked out as to who goes in there and who doesn't. Now, it has been said that the inside lane, the fast lane, is now being reserved for people who can run 4-minute kilometers or faster. Now that is quite a fast speed. For those of us that don't run 4-minute kilometers, and I'm one of those, going to be forced into half of a running track, the slow half, no less. Maybe they should have brought that time down a little bit from 4-minute kilometers to 5, but as of right now, it's a 4-minute kilometer cap. So if you can run 4-minute kilometers or faster, you are entitled to go into the fast lane. And apparently there will be referees and marshals all the way around trying to police this. It'll be interesting to see how that actually looks on race day. From some of the events abroad, we have seen a revamped start tunnel. It still is the big blue box that we are used to. However, there has been one additional feature added to it, the roller shutter blinds at the start. Now, this feels like a bit of a weird thing to add since you will not be able to see anybody before the countdown. Historically, I've always used this moment to find where my camera lady is and give them a wave. There will be none of that if this is rolled out across all of the events. That's not to say that this will be at every event. It might not even be in the UK, but we have seen this pop up in some of the international HYROXs already. So if you haven't seen it already, it is essentially a blue blind that they project the motivational video and music on before your wave, and maybe the countdown as well. And on the 3, 2, 1, the thing rolls up super quick and everybody is released. I hope it doesn't malfunction, or there is going to be a motocross style pileup right there at the start of a HYROX race. So with the change of all of the equipment to Centaur kit, we now have seen an update to the carpet, and it has been something of a contentious subject amongst the HYROX world. Sometimes it's super quick and sometimes it's not. Looking at some of the videos online, it is very susceptible to wrinkling, and looking at people pushing it, it looks jolly hard work. Arguably harder than what it used to be, but who knows? I will not necessarily know what it feels like or be able to compare it until I've done it myself for the first time. If you've ever been to a HYROX, you will know that getting in and out as an athlete and or spectator requires one of these, right? A different coloured band depending on what you're doing. Well, one of these will mean you're a pro, one of these will mean you're a standard solo, one will mean you're a judge, and one will mean that you are a spectator. Now, moving forward, to stop people collecting them like me and sneaking in without paying for a spectator ticket and overwhelming the venue, they are introducing chips on these types of bands. And these chips will be at turnstiles, or they will be guys or girls with guns to sort of scan you into the venue. So this will mean that people will absolutely have to buy a spectator ticket. Just bear in mind, you will not be able to get in on your band, your flat band, as you know them. So the 25-26 HYROX UK season is going to be the biggest to date. It's going to have the venues putting on more days, and thousands more athletes are going to be able to take part than ever before. It's going to be really exciting to see the advancements in technology, the shifts in rules, as well as the exciting things like the one lap event at London. There's so much to look forward to. It's going to be brilliant. It's going to be fantastic to get out there and to see some of you guys compete and meet some of you along the way. I make these videos to be part of that community, to meet people that have the same goals and physical fitness ambitions as I do. It's wonderful to be a part of that world. So yeah, here's to a fantastic 25-26 season. Before you go, please give my channel a subscribe. Getting the odd subscriber here and there really does help motivate me to create further content, and I super appreciate it. I will see you guys either at an event or in my next video soon. Mart out.